Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. We're going to talk about another hand today coming out of the Bubishi. Now these old hands, the 6 Shaolin hands, or the 6 hands of Shaolin, or the 6G hands as I called them earlier on, were developed to actuate the Dimmak, Dimsu, Kyusho, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to call it, but the deeper anatomical structures, the weaker structures of the human anatomy. And they don't just play in a striking art, they play in grappling arts, trapping range. They work in all the different variations and fields of combat. The one we want to work with today is called the Iron Sword. Now the Iron Sword is depicted in the Bubishi this way. All right, so you see the fingers are flayed a little bit, okay, and the hand is upward a little. The fingers are pointing upward a little bit in the book. Now that hand position, okay, is showing you that the wrist is dropping, okay, and that's the way the hand position is held. It's not held together as you see in most karate styles with the thumb bent in and the fingers straight. All right. Now, what's usually taught is you're hitting with the edge of your hand as a chopping type of an action. Okay, but when you think about this, this is a very poor structure to hit with. Now you can condition this over time to develop a stronger weapon, but there's a much easier way to do it, much more efficient way to do it, much more penetrating way to do it. First of all, let's take a look at the structure. A lot of soft muscle here. If you reach on your own hand, you'll see that it's a padded situation. Okay, so if you're striking the side of the neck as an example, you got strands of muscle that are protecting the nerves and the vascular tissue. If you hit with the whole hand, the whole pad, you have soft against soft, number one, so there's no penetration. You have the strands of muscle running like fingers like this way, and you have the attack coming across. So you have a soft tissue working against the soft tissue, again padded. So you're not going to get that penetration. Also, if you're thinking about it, if you're chopping someone, say maybe you're chopping to the temple, you have another problem. This is the smallest bone in the hand that breaks so easily. As a matter of fact, it's called the boxer's break. All right, you see a lot of people on a Friday, Saturday night, they come in the emergency rooms, they've broken their hand because they got in a fight and they hit with their fist and that bone gave up. So it's a weak bone. So you wouldn't call that iron. Okay, iron was a strong material, probably the strongest at that time. We've since been surpassed by other technologies, but the iron was the symbolism of strength. Okay, you wouldn't use a small weak bone in your hand as a strength vehicle. So what are you using? You're actually using the dropping portion of the wrist bone, this process of the bone, the head of the bone, head of the ulnar bone here, and that has a more penetrating effect, and that's why when you see the hand, it isn't held straight to chop, it's dropped where the fingers open and flay, and that transition is what you want to strike with. Now that will penetrate between the muscle fibers. It is also very strong. That's a big bone right there. Okay, so if you're going to be striking with it, you're going to be able to penetrate deep into the soft tissues of the human anatomy, whether it be on the neck, whether it be on the chest, the arms, wherever you're going to be striking with it. It can also be used as a compression, all right, because you're going to be putting your body weight. Say you're grappling, you get someone on the ground, you get your hand, the bone right here on their carotid sinus, and you drop into it with a sudden pushing action. You're going to make that person stop functioning well, because what happens is it's like a blood choke. It cuts the blood supply off to the brain and the body shut down. You have yourself a vascular knockout, just like a rear naked choke, only it's going to take you a second rather than maybe 3 to 5 seconds for the choking technique. So again, watch what you're working on in your martial arts styles, especially the karate styles, which are telling you to do that linear type of a chop, okay, using your whole force of your body and arm to really like turn into it. You want to make sure that when you're doing these hand techniques, you're like using that process to cut in. And again, to get a lot of power out of this, you have to have a lot of strength, a lot of muscle opening, expansion, contraction. You're contracting the triceps, you're expanding the biceps, all right? So you have a lot of muscle action. This wrist action here has a lot more power because it's focused in a very short distance. Very powerful, very adaptable, and you protect yourself at the same time. That's the Iron Sword, not the Shuto. Thanks for watching.